Hi everyone, I hope you are. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Cardano. Once again, thank you for your continued support, okay? If you're not a member of the Patreon, do head over to the Patreon, get involved in that community right now, because it's a bustling community and lots of great content going in there, guides, tips, all that sort of stuff. So it's good content, and obviously we're getting fantastic feedback in there. And once again, thank you for all your support in there, okay? It's fantastic. So diving into Cardano, what I'm going to do, obviously you've got this in front of you. You know this is a future price prediction, okay? And Cardano's mountain faces, just as anticipated by CoinsKid, it's absolutely blowing up. You are running into a level of resistance right now, and I'm obviously going to show you where that is, okay? But first, what I want to do is show you Cardano versus Bitcoin, something I never ever discuss with you, and I do need to try and remember to jump onto this particular chart more often than not, okay? Because obviously this shows the key levels of resistance right now. You can see you've hit a level of resistance right there, and you're scratching your head, what is that resistance? And I will show you exactly what that resistance is right now. But you can see from this moment here, this multi-year level of resistance right there, and we said to you, as soon as it breaks this level of resistance, go long on Cardano versus Bitcoin, and boom, you can see it's absolutely rocketed. It hit a level of resistance right there, rolled back to a key level of support, held it. We give you this blue line here saying put some bids in down there, and hopefully, you know, if it holds support, boom, see you later alligator, it's off out the traps, and that's exactly what you've got going on for Cardano right now. It's against Bitcoin, it's absolutely flying, but you have run into a level of resistance, and this could be a signal within itself effectively. If you do continue to hit this as resistance, this is where you may see Bitcoin take off, okay? Because obviously you're going to run into resistance. It's what happens. This is where you may see a bit of reversal for Bitcoin, and this is the things that you have to look at. So right now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to absolutely fly or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes look at alternative currencies versus Bitcoin to see a sort of level of a kickback for Bitcoin in the altcoin dominance, basically. So right here, what you do from the bear market bottom, just there, okay, you've got the previous bull market top. That was the all-time high for Cardano versus Bitcoin right there, and you can see it hit its top, retreated, went back into the depths before coming out the traps again and having another go at retracing to the high. So this is effectively what it's doing. It's retracing, and you lay down a Fibonacci to see the levels that it's retracing, okay? So just make sure we've got that right on the bottom like that, okay? So just there. You can use a magnet for that, but you don't have to all the time. So right, this is what we've got going on for Cardano versus Bitcoin, just as anticipated. Boom, with it ahead on a golden ratio there. Do you see that? It's golden ratio 0.618, golden ratio, hit your head, boom, started to retreat. Now if you do start to see it come up again and hit its head, you run into a level of resistance, you're going to fall back to a level of support. And there's one particular level of support that Cardano's not tested in this retracement. I don't know whether you can see it off the bat, but you can see straight away it's that you've melted for it. You've not back tested its support. So this is why this is important, because if you do start to see Cardano do this and get rejected against Bitcoin, it starts to retreat, and you're thinking why? Not necessarily against USD, because obviously Bitcoin can go up in USD and Cardano can go up in USD as well. But what you're looking for in alt season is the alts appreciating against Bitcoin effectively, okay? So right now you can see it's come up against that resistance zone right there, and it's starting to fall back. Now if you do start to see it hit its head, and you're scratching your head where the support is, boom, that's where it is, okay? So that's where potentially, if you do start to see Cardano hit its head against Bitcoin, you're going to see it fall back to this previous level of support to back test it as support, basically. And that's a 16% depreciation against Bitcoin. But obviously it can absolutely melt for it, and if it does, you're looking at potential more upside of around about 84% versus Bitcoin to get back to its all-time high. And then obviously our price prediction up there, the 1618 Fibonacci extension there for Cardano versus Bitcoin. In this bull run, you could potentially be looking at a further appreciation of around 261% for Cardano versus Bitcoin, okay? So it's looking good. It's melting faces, basically. But if you do start to fall back and retreat, then, and you're wondering where it is, it's because you've hit the golden ratio and you're looking for a key level of support. Now I will show you exactly where this has happened before, okay? So just here, Cardano bust out of this multi-year level of resistance just there. You know, the golden ratio, not the golden ratio, the golden cross, the buy and go to the beach signal from CoinsKid. See you later, alligator, we're off. Right there, and you can see it's absolutely gone on, hit a level of resistance like that, got through it, hit a level of resistance there, 0.382. And what did it did? It retreated. Where did it retreat to? A previous level of resistance. It's not actually backtest as support, and that's exactly backtest, support. The whole time, the 20 EMA was creeping up, it was backtesting it, holding it as support. Beautiful. Then you took on the 0.382 again. You've absolutely smashed through it. You've had a week where you've back tested at support there. Do you see that? You've gone through it, then you've had the back test. Beautiful. Wanted to see that. So right now you can see if you start to hit your head there, where's your next key level of support? Obviously it's here, and this is where you could go through this sort of consolidation range again for Cardano, where it gets a bit flat, a bit boring versus Bitcoin, and a little bit against USD as well. So it kind of runs into a bit of a wall, and you're wondering why. It's because it's progression. It's progression, okay? And that's what you want. Because if not, if you go like this now, look what happens. Look what happens if you go like that. You come down just as hard. Do you see that? And we don't want that, do we? We don't want that. That's the end of the bull run right there. We want this appreciation. We want this continuation, and this is consolidation, and that's effectively what it is. Consolidation, leg up, consolidation, leg up, consolidation, leg up, so on and so forth. That's how you get to these highs, okay? You don't get to them by taking off into space like that. So effectively, if Cardano does start to retreat against Bitcoin, that's what you're looking at. Consolidation range on the 050 round about that level against Bitcoin. So do keep an eye on that, and that would actually mean more upside for Bitcoin, to be honest with you. So yeah, keep an eye on that right now for Cardano versus Bitcoin. But obviously, if it does grapefruit that and just melts faces, you're looking at that appreciation that I've just shown you right there for Cardano versus Bitcoin. So I'm just going to jump back onto Cardano versus USD on the 4-hourly time frame for you then. So yesterday we gave you this price prediction off this flagpole, wasn't it? This bull pennant, a bull pennant target met, and then obviously we said that you're forming another bull pennant, and if you break out towards the apex, that's your target up there, that $2.44, and look, boom, it absolutely got there and some. So what we've got on the cards there is it got a little bit extra because you actually broke out a little bit earlier. So if we move this along, you can see that where you broke out to, boom, target met. Do you see that? So to be fair, I didn't think it broke out there. It broke out a little bit prematurely. Usually, as you can see just here, the breakout towards the apex. Do you see that? So it broke out a bit prematurely, but once it broke out, you see that it went up and it back tested the resistance as support. Do you see this? This is what you always want to see in continuation. Look, it broke the resistance, back tested support, held to support before continuation. So really, really good, really strong, to be honest with you. It is forming another little bit of a flag there. I will show you that particular pattern right now. And obviously we had our Fibonacci extension, the price prediction as well, which you can see it melted through. That was a very conservative measurement because I do feel like we're getting a little bit overextended, to be honest with you, on the EMAs there, and that's always a sign that if you don't slow down, when you form a deeper reversal wave, you could potentially lose the EMAs effectively, like you did here. You just sort of rolled and lost them effectively. So you do want to see this nice organic growth. It is looking relatively healthy. So I'm just going to tidy this up and show you exactly what I think is going on for Cardano right now. So obviously this is the new high just there. We'll put that there like that. So that's a new high, which is fantastic. Around about $2.47, roughly that sort of area. It's only 3 cents off, but obviously you can see that the flagpole, if we'd have moved it up from the break, that's where your target was, and it was bang on. So do draw that on your charts, okay? It's really good little things that you can do there. So flagpoles and bull pennants and bear pennants and all that kind of business. But what you've got on the go right now for Cardano, providing you keep this kind of structure, this is another continuation pattern, and wow, where does it end? Effectively, what you've got here is this, okay? This kind of little bull flag on the go just there. Do you see this? This little bit of a bull flag where you're sort of trading back on yourself. Now if you do sort of maintain this sort of pattern right here, where you're doing this, hitting resistance, support, resistance like that, you will have a bit of a breakout, and usually you come back to the top, but also, you know, you've got a bit of a breakout as well, which is something like this, from there to where you sort of form that. That's where you could see if you broke out, you could see that further upside towards $2.55 for Cardano right there. Do you see that? So I'm going to drop that in as a future price prediction. If you do see the break, you could be looking at Cardano pumping up to sort of that area there. But there's one thing that's sort of put me off a little bit at the moment. Obviously, what I've just shown you on the Bitcoin chart, that level of resistance on the golden ratio, you may, if you do start to sort of lose this as support, this is where you may see Cardano sort of roll a little bit and lose this reversal wave. What I'm going to do is show you that particular target right now, okay? I'll always show you everything. So right now, if you do start to sort of come down and you lose this, you're going to form a reversal wave and effectively come back to where you came from, because right now, obviously, as you know, you've come up in an impulsive wave like this, impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave. Do you see that? So right now, you've come up off this impulsive wave here. So what we're going to do is drop the fib in, and you can see exactly what you're doing and where you're retracing. So from the top down to the previous corrective wave bottom just there, you can see right now you're retracing basically. Now if you start to trade down and hold this as support, that's great, because you can come all the way down here like this, look, okay, I'll show you. So you do something like this, like this, like this. Now if you start to close below 0.618, like I've said to you so many times, you're forming potentially, the bias is more towards a reversal wave, not a retracement wave. So that's why you could sort of see Cardano come down to that $2.14 right there, okay, for Cardano. And from there, if it was to lose a level of support, you would be looking at an 8% downside for Cardano. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I want to reassure you of that. It just means that it's sort of running out of a bit of steam, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because like I said to you, you don't want to get too overextended, because if you start to get too overextended, when you come back down to test support, you lose the support, i.e. the EMAs, because you can see right there, if you was to come down and fall out of this level of support right there and come down, you would literally be landing on the 4-hourly 20 EMA, and that, in my opinion, would be a fantastic entry point for Cardano moving forward, because I would imagine you get the bounce of support for continuation, get back up, smash that golden ratio there on the weekly continuation, and start making those highs against Bitcoin. So that's Cardano, basically. Good luck to anybody that's involved in it, and obviously I'll give you a couple of breakdown targets there. If you do see Cardano close below $2.26, do anticipate a little short down to at least test that previous impulsive wave correction right there of 5%. Okay, so, and then if you do start to see it obviously break this resistance line here, where are we? Put this in like this. You've got this level of resistance right now that's got going on in this kind of bull flag. If you do start to see it break that, then it could be anywhere, so I can't give you a specific target, but if you do start to see it break it as resistance, then obviously wherever you are, say you come all the way down to here or something, or the 0.382, then look obviously to a retracement to the high of around 5.52%, and then obviously to the future price prediction of around 9% for Cardano. So it's looking relatively healthy, okay, relatively healthy, but you can see just straight off the bat that your impulsive waves are sort of running out a little bit. Do you see that? You're running out of steam a little bit on the impulsive waves, okay, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So these are impulsive waves. That's impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave. Now look at them; they're running out of steam. Do you see that? The gap between them is getting smaller. So effectively, you are potentially sort of looking at a bit of a consolidation event here. Do keep an eye on these levels of resistance and support going forward, because they're key. Take care, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with another update on Cardano. But so far, so good. But there's one niggly thing: is the golden ratio on Bitcoin. That's the niggly thing. You're hitting your head. That's where you could see a bit of retrieval on Cardano, and potentially a bit of crabbing sideways. So do keep an eye on these support levels. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.